The Seahawks have a huge problem because after being ranked third in the entire NFL after 1 week, they are now all the way down at 17th in the rankings. And I can tell you exactly who is to blame. There are two names that come to mind on why the Hawks are having a bad start. The first is Ken Norton Jr., who seems to be totally incapable of doing anything with ridiculous amounts of talent on the defense. With two All-Pros in their prime, a top 10 defensive line in sacks, and another Pro Bowl safety with a first-round linebacking stud. And Pete freaking Carroll, why do you have a defensive head coach that can't play defense? It's not the talent. Give Bill Belichick this defense and he'll have one of the best in the league. If the only thing that your coach is supposed to be good at is defense and then he can't do that, then he should not be coaching in the NFL. I have no idea why no one sees this beyond me. If I was Russell Wilson, I would be ticked off and trying to get out of there this year as well. An outdated, horrible system on offense and defense. The head coach has all the power in the entire organization. The only reason he has a job is because of Russell Wilson. It's not Pete Carroll winning the games. He's stuck on a team with all the talent in the world, but one of the worst coaching staffs out there. The early losses are not Russell's fault. He has not the ball. The first game, the Colts had the ball 6 more minutes than the Hawks. The Titans had the ball for a full 20 minutes longer. And the Vikings had the ball 11 minutes more in the game. Are you freaking kidding me? Russell Wilson is leading the NFL in passer rating, and he just can't get the ball. Bobby Wagner is 5 tackles ahead of the next man up and is leading the entire NFL in tackles. What are the Seahawks good at that Russell Wilson is not doing? What? Punting and kicking, and that's about it. The defense has been last in the league again for absolutely no reason. They have one of the more talented rosters on defense in the entire NFL, and they are horribly misused. What will it take for the Hawks to at very least fire Ken Norton Jr.? Has anyone else seen how horrible this defensive scheme is? The corners are playing 12 yards off coverage in a super soft zone, with Jamal Adams just blitzing every other play or sitting in the middle field like a linebacker. He's an all-pro safety. Use him like it. The thing that frustrates me the most is nothing ever changes. The defense is always the same. There's no creativity, no fooling the offense, nothing to show. Just line up and let the offense shred you. The inner defensive line is suffering without Jarron Reed. There is a reason that the entire Legion of Boom ended up not wanting Pete Carroll to be their head coach. He is ridiculously ignorant to what the Seahawks could be on offense and defense. He has way too much power and does nothing on defense. The Seahawks at the very best will end up second in the NFC West, because Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan will outcoach Pete Carroll every single time. The only difference between the Rams and Seahawks is the Rams are a much better coached team, and now that they have a decent quarterback, the Hawks are not going to get even remotely close to beating them. And I know I sound dramatic, and they're still a good team, and they'll probably win 10 to 12 games, but they will be stuck in just the playoff rack until Pete Carroll realizes that he needs to change or is gone. At the very least, Ken Norton is gone. I can't believe he has not been fired by now, because their defense is a joke. The next few weeks will be interesting, but if we lose to the Rams, the chance of winning the NFC West is gone. It's plain and simple. This is what ESPN said on this week's power ranking. It has depended on the half. The Seahawks have scored a league-high 62 points over the first 2 quarters and a league-low 13 after halftime. But by no means that's all on Russell Wilson. Look at this tweet of just how bad the Seahawks defense is. Russell Wilson is the best statistical passer in the NFL through 3 games. The Seahawks offense ranks 6th in points per game and 1st in DVOA. Not a single turnover. Here's a report from a Seattle reporter. Statistically speaking, Seattle is getting their collective butt kicked from not only their opponent, but their own coach and defensive coordinator. Over the last 2 games, here is the statistical comparison between Seattle and their opponent. He then proceeded to pull out these stats. On offense, passing third down 24 to 36 to the opponent. Third down passing efficiency 7 of 20 to 15 of 30 for the opponent, and total plays 104 on offense to 155 to the opponent. Time of possession is 46 minutes and 49 seconds to 78 minutes and 26 seconds. And I just want to bring this to your guys' attention. Both corners from the Seahawks, both Trey and DJ Reed, in post-game said they were confused with the scheme and were kind of frustrated with it. And then Pete Carroll was asked about it in the press conference by his own reporters, as if they were trying to get him to admit that there was something wrong with this scheme.
When your cornerbacks are double the yards to gain off the line on third down, say it's 3rd and 4 and your cornerbacks are 9 yards off the ball, is that a scheme thing? Is that a bad choice? Is that a player going outside the scheme? What's happening?
No, there's I don't know that mathematics there that you're talking about. You know, where there's a distance off the ball depending on what the down distance is.
I'm just saying, when it's 3rd and 4 and there's a guy lined up 8 yards off the receiver, so all he has to do is run a 4-yard out with no. Is that scheme?
And let's not forget that the defense has allowed most yards per game to this point in the season. We know the Seahawks defense is terrible. That's easy to see. How Seattle fired Brian Schottenheimer after their season and kept Ken Norton Jr. is a mystery. And the things that worry me is the next 4 games on the schedule are Niners, Rams, Steelers, and Saints. And if we do not win at least 3 of those games, we'll most likely miss the playoffs, or at the very least, sneak in at the latest spot. And the one problem we have on defense at the talent level is corner, and the head office won't even attempt to fix it. Now, I've made several videos on how good the Hawks could be, and I'm not going back on that. They could be one of the best NFL teams. The keyword there is could. Talent-wise, they can be. The coaches are ruining this opportunity. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.